My grandmother thinks she can control my life, but I'm 27 years old.
She's your grandma. Listen to her.
Hey, what grandma says goes, all right?
Yeah,
End of story.
respect your elders.
All right, we're going to go to the next one.
I side with grandma.
So to start off, I, 27 female, have lived with my grand, 77 female, all of my life. She raised my older brother and I, and for that, I am eternally grateful. However, even though I love her, I have to admit that my gran has always been extremely entitled, controlling, and even manipulative, mostly regarding my life in particular. And by the way, this comes from user White Wolf Dreamer, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK storytime subreddit. So, I still live at home, and I act as her caretaker, as well as helping out my autistic brother. And because someone has made the accusation before, no, that doesn't mean I'm just mooching off of her. I actually take care of her. I cook her meals, I clean up for her, I help her bathe, I do her hair and help her get dressed. I help her get to the bathroom and clean up after. I help her sort out her meds, I run errands, and I do the shopping. As I'm the only one who can drive, I help her get to her appointments, I push her wheelchair whenever she needs it, and I do anything and everything else that she needs. I have been doing most of these things since I was still in high school. Yes, she pays for everything, but that's only because she hasn't allowed me to get a job in almost 8 years. Always telling me things like, oh, what if you were at work, but I really needed you, among other things. Even when I did have a job, she took all but a fraction of every paycheck to put towards bills, which I was fine with at the time because I felt like it was only fair to pay my share since I finally had an income. Every time I bring up looking for a job now, she has a million reasons to keep me from doing so. Most recently, though, she's taken to hating my boyfriend, 24 male of 6 years, for pretty much no real reason besides dating me. She talks crap about him constantly, calling him useless and good for nothing, insulting him behind his back on an almost daily basis, even though he's bent over backwards to help me out in many situations. She makes comments like, he must not love you very much since he never comes around, but then she pitches a fit every time he asks me on a date, and the only time she ever wants him coming to our house is when she can exploit him, like roping him into moving furniture or cleaning out the garage. She makes backhanded remarks about how we've been together for 6 years, but he's never proposed, but then raises all get out if I spend more than a couple of hours with him on a date. She's even told me, you know, I'd like for you to give me a grandchild sometime before I move on to the next dimension. But she loses her mind if my boyfriend even so much as kisses me anywhere near her. My boyfriend is the sweetest, kindest, most hardworking guy I've ever known, and he treats me better than anyone ever has in my life. He even has a great job and makes a decent living, owns his own home and car, and is very good about finances. But she still has to nitpick every little thing about him to try and turn me against him. She even talks crap about his family, the mother and brother, even though they also treat me extremely well. And no matter how much I defend any of them, she won't stop. This is like, to me, it's a reading of either one or two things. Like, grandma's getting some like early onset, like Alzheimer's, dementia type stuff. She's getting a little nasty. Or your grandma is just been manipulating you for so long that she can't stand the thought of losing you to your own independence.
I was gonna say that's probably the second option, because the grandma, other than like with OP taking care of her with all those other needs, but she seems fine other than that.
Yeah.
It seems like the grandma just has you around and knows you're going to stay around because you don't want to leave. I know you want to leave, but you haven't done it yet. So she's just has you wrapped around her finger. Is that the way?
Right, yeah.
I think it's time to free yourself and just move on and be the person you want to be.
This kind of came to a head the other night. For context, we've just been informed by our landlord that come June 2023, he's selling the house we're renting. So unless we can come up with $30K and buy it from him, we'll have to move. That's a whole different can of worms in and of itself. But what floored me was that a few nights ago, she went from insulting my boyfriend's hair to maybe we should move 2 states away so you can get away from him in the same breath. And no, she wasn't joking. I've been with him for 6 years, but she wants me to move away from him because she hates him. Now, as far as us possibly having to move out in a year, she 100% assumes that I most definitely have to move with her and my brother to keep taking care of them. No exceptions. My boyfriend and I are already talking about sitting down with her to discuss my moving in with him instead. And I'm dreading that discussion because I know it won't go well. All she's done for years is depend on me to the point that she actively refused outside help because Bunny can just do it. If she refuses to move to a retirement or assisted living home, and to make things worse, she's already decided that after she's gone, I will be taking over full care of my brother without even considering what I want to do with my life.
This is
such a
exhausting.
hard position to be forced into.
I kind of get that feeling.
The forced caretaker position. It's like, and now if you want your own life, you're a terrible person.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
If you leave, you're a monster. And if you do anything that you want to do, you're a monster. And I wouldn't have that conversation with your boyfriend there, because she's going to spin it and use your boyfriend as the scapegoat. You have to do it for yourself.
I don't know. I think I might want the backup. And I think if she starts berating him, then he can be right there to back himself up.
I guess, but I was going to say, this is a conversation for OP to have with her grandma. This is between them.
That's where the boundaries being set for sure between them.
And I think that's then like, okay, if she doesn't want to agree, then bring your boyfriend and be like, hey, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah. I just know she's going to go postal and lay on a massive guilt trip when I finally tell her I want to move out entirely. But I want to get on with my own life. I'm tired of my gran thinking she's entitled to my life. I'm sorry I don't have a conclusion for this right now. I'll try to post an update when we finally talk to her. Any advice for that conversation is welcome. I'll need all the help I can get. And we do have an update. I've come to the decision that I'm moving out by the end of summer at the very latest. I haven't told gran yet, but I will sometime in the next couple of weeks after I've made a few more preparations. My boyfriend and his family are behind me no matter what she says or does, and I'm fully prepared to dispute any guilt trip she might throw at me over my decision. I wanted to say thank you to the people who left supportive comments and advice on my original post. I can't even express how good it feels to have so many people on my side. If any of you are reading this, please know that I'm taking your advice to heart and doing what I can to be prepared for the move. I'll make another comment after I've finally told gran if anyone's interested. Wish me luck. Edit, wanted to add, one thing I'm most worried about regarding moving out is what my gran will want to do about my dog. Her name is on his vet record because she made me give them her name instead of mine when we first got him. She buys his food and pays for his basic care, like the yearly shots and flea treatments, only because, as I said in my original post, I'm not allowed to work, so I have no money. When we got him, she insisted that he was my dog, and she continued calling him my dog. And I do everything for him. I've trained him, I feed him, I walk him, I bathe him, I clip his nails. I don't ask my gran or my brother to do any of that because, again, he's my dog. I love him so much, and I couldn't imagine losing him, but I'm worried that when I tell her I'm leaving, she'll insist on keeping him out of spite since he's hers as far as his records go. Hey, just go ahead and don't listen to that. Just take the dog.
Go to the vet. I feel like you can change it because, like, hey, my grandma's old. I want to switch the names. I want to switch the ownership of the dog into my name.
And I would tell him a little bit of the rest of the context as well, where it's like she's going to get vindictive. She's going to try to legally take the dog away from me.
They might need her approval because it is in her name. But again, she's like, oh, she's got to move.
Yeah, but I do love my dog, and I know for a fact that she and my brother won't be able to take care of him without me because she's disabled and my brother is lazy. I'm not sure what I would do in that case, so any advice would be welcome. Literally just ignore it. That's what I would say. It's like, I don't think anyone's going to back up your, like, the notion that your 77-year-old disabled, like, grandma should be, like, forcibly taking the rights to care for the dog away from you because she can't do it.
She can't take care of herself. So yeah, I think no one's going to press you on that matter. But again, you got to talk to grandma first.
All right, we have another update. Hello, friends. I wanted to stop in. Small update on my situation. My boyfriend and I have decided to talk to Gran on the 25th. I've been cleaning, organizing, and packing up my things to the best of my ability without alerting my Gran or brother. And I've located and secured all of my important legal documents. A solid plan has been made for Gran to make payments to own the house, so she and my brother won't have to move after all. We've decided to tell her before the contract is finalized so she won't be able to use it to keep me in the house. I'm incredibly nervous about telling her, but I'll be glad to get it done. I'll come back with the results after then. Wish me luck. Thank you all again for all your support. It means the world to me. And yes, the securing of the documents, very important. We've got another update. Hello, friends. An update on the situation. My boyfriend and I finally told Gran that I'm ready to move out, and she was, quite surprisingly, rather okay with it.
Oh. Whoa!
Ooh, what a twist!
She's been testing you, and
wow,
she's been testing you this entire time.
Is this maybe a little reverse psychology?
I don't know, but she's been like, "Oh, I've been waiting for you to say this. I've been waiting for this day.
Yeah,
for the last 9 years.
You finally passed the test.
You did it."
She did start off with the expected, "Why do you want to leave? And what am I supposed to do?" questions, and sprinkled in some things about still needing help with certain tasks. But in the end, she admitted she figured it would happen eventually, and that she can't stop me. She didn't even even argue about wanting to keep my dog and admitted he'd be too much for her and my brother to handle. We did offer to help her find a cat or a smaller dog to keep her company, something that she and my brother could take care of more easily than a 40-pound bag of energized muscle. Because she was so amicable about it, I told her that I'm willing to stick around long enough to help make sure that her rent-to-own contract with the landlord goes through all right. She signs it on the 30th, but I won't be co-signing since I won't be living here. And she's admitted that my brother needs to learn to start taking care of himself and doing normal housework, so she's going to start looking into services to help him with that, as well as a better home care service, so Gran will still have a bit of help when I'm gone. Her only stipulation was that she wants my boyfriend and I to be married before I move in with him. Yeah, we're prepared to fight her a bit on that front, since it would mean another year or more of waiting while we set it up, and we've already been together for nearly 7 years at this point. But if need be, we don't mind getting engaged just to prevent a fight. To clarify, we do want to get married at some point, but I don't want to keep staying at home as a live-in maid for over a year while we get a wedding planned. And I don't want to get married just because she wants me to. We'll get married when we want to. But we don't mind an official engagement in the meantime, since we're practically engaged already, minus the ring. I'm honestly so surprised that she took it so well. Here's hoping she doesn't change her mind when it comes time to start moving things out. I'd like to say another big thanks to everyone who's been supporting and encouraging through all of this. It's been such a godsend to realize all your comments, and I'm forever grateful to have such lovely people at my back. I'll come back in a couple of weeks with hopefully my final update. Update number 4. I moved out. Yes.
You did it.
It worked.
Wow.
This is
like we
what
said.
a turnaround. I just got up for my first night spent in a new place. So far, I'm still adjusting, as is my dog, but I'm confident everything will work out. My gran gave me some grief when I told her I was finally making the move, but it was nothing major. She threw out some, "You're just abandoning us? And why do you need to live with him so badly?" But she quieted down as we were loading up my things. In all honesty, I think she might have been more sad than angry, for right now at least. But I think she and my brother got through the night just fine without me. So here's hoping everyone can be happier with this arrangement. I've got a lot of cleaning and unpacking to do, so I'm signing off for now. Thanks again to everyone for their encouragement and well wishes. And we have another update. Hello, friends. It's been quite a while since I updated this situation, and that's because I've spent the last 3 months in a very precarious balancing act. I finally decided 3 months ago to tell my grandma I'll be moving in with my boyfriend of 7 years, and she seemed oddly okay with it, so I've been taking my time to pack and move my stuff bit by bit, so I could also help her out by cleaning and organizing the house and figure out ways for her and my brother to get by without me being there 24/7. We've had a number of household calamities during that time, including having to replace a number of old fixtures that all broke down at once. So I've been doing what I can to help with all of that, even though it's forced me to put off moving for even longer. Problem is, the more time passes and the more things I move, my gran has gotten less and less okay with me moving. She snarls at me every time I haul out a set of boxes, saying everything from, "You know he's gonna keep all your stuff and throw you out on the street if you break up, right?" to, "He'll make you throw most of your crap out since he won't want all of that crowding his house." She keeps implying that my boyfriend will make me get rid of my dog because he has cats, even though he's never indicated such a thing and has actually made a lot of plans to make it easier to socialize them. And of course, there are the guilt trips. I've done my absolute best to be civil and mature, debating and explaining things to her rather than fighting, staying in the house way longer than I even intended to, just to help her out and be the bigger person. But now I'm done. My boyfriend took me out for lunch today and we hung out for a while. I gave her over an hour's notice before we left and she didn't tell me she needed anything. We were gone a couple hours and she didn't say anything when I came home. Cut to dinner time and she starts passively aggressively talking crap about me to my brother, knowing I was in the room, about how I just took off to have lunch and didn't give a crap if either of them ate. And after 3 months of holding my tongue and playing nice, I snapped. We fought for a bit and she ended up complaining about how I spend all my time with my boyfriend and don't care about her. And I told her that at almost 28 years old, I don't need permission to be an adult. And she said, "Well, you want to leave? Then go. You'll regret walking out on your brother and me as soon as you do." Just ignoring the fact that I've been systematically moving for the last 3 months already. So I'm done. I haven't spoken to her for the last couple of hours and I already texted my boyfriend telling him that I'll be moved out by the end of the week. That gives me enough enough time to pack the last of my stuff and get it hauled out, and him enough time to get everything set for me to move in. Plus, he works the rest of the week and won't be free to help me until Friday. By Friday, I plan to be moved no matter what Gran says or does. Expect an update Friday or Saturday on the move. I imagine Gran's gonna have more to say by then, but I'm through with playing her games. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
By the way, we have a 5th update. Let's get into it. Hello, friends. It's been a while since my last update. I thought I'd check in with one last update for anyone who was interested. I've been living with my boyfriend for about a month now, and things are going really well. In fact, my boyfriend is now my fiancé.
Oh, we saw that one coming.
Congratulations.
Nice. Congrats.
Gran has cooled down a lot, though she still gets a bit testy when I haven't talked to her for a few days. She and my brother got a kitten to keep them company, and I've been very impressed by how much my brother has actually stepped up to help out since I've moved. I visit and chat with them a couple of times a week, and I even had a Thanksgiving with them, and then one with my fiance's family the next day. What a beautiful compromise.
2 Thanksgivings.
Woo! And you know what? You can have 2 Thanksgivings.
What?
Because at any point, you can listen to full episodes with stories like this one. All you have to do is go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts from and search OK Storytime. And there you have it. 2 Thanksgivings.
I'm so full.
A Thanksgiving for the eyes and a Thanksgiving for the ears. I mean, we have a little bit of story left here, but I don't even think there's anything to say.
No,
it's like
this is OP did everything that OP needed to do, and look how it's turned out. Yeah, it had a couple obstacles, a couple like little road bumps there, but you made it.
You stood firm. As for me, I've been slowly adjusting to life without strict rules and restrictions. Fiancé and his family have been amazing to me. Anytime I've started to struggle or get overwhelmed with the change, they're right there to talk me down. It's amazing to feel so much love and support from family. They've helped me get settled in and got me some things I've never had all to myself before, like a lovely set of cooking pans. Even my dog has settled into the new place very well, and I take him over to see Gran every now and then. So far, things have been working out well, and I'm hoping they get even better as everyone gets used to the new rhythm of life. I want to thank everyone here that supported and encouraged me through this whole ordeal. You all helped me keep a level head going into the move, and you're all amazing. And
Thanks. You're amazing.
And that's the end of that story, and you're amazing. That was a great story. I
Great.
mean, a lot of times the stories don't end with that good of an ending, but I'm so glad everything worked out for the best.
It's one of those things, and I think we said at the very beginning, at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to focus on yourself and you got to live your life. You did your time, you served that time for grandma and your brother, and you did a great job, and they should be more appreciative of that. But you did it. You deserve to have a life to yourself.
That's right.
Though I guess the one thing we just need to know is what's going to happen to a brother and grandma when they move, but it seems like all is going to be well.
Yeah, I'm confident they'll be able to figure out their next situation, whatever it needs to be.
And guess what? I know for a fact OP is going to be there to support and help them when they need it.
Everything's, seems like everything came from a place of love. She's just exhausted. She's like, I just can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
You have to love, if you're going to sacrifice a decade of your life essentially to take care of someone else, you definitely love that person.
And the same thing to those who are listening or viewing this. If you are the grandma in the situation where you don't want your loved one or the one like your little loved one, you don't want them to go, you got to let them free. Eventually, it's got to happen. Either they're going to fight you on it or you got to do it, naturally.
I mean, she literally said, she's like, I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, it's got to happen eventually. And you just got to support them and not be as petty as grandma was being here, but you got to let that happen.
Yeah, don't guilt trip your relatives, people. Come on. Don't be
Support
guilt tripping
them.
your relatives. But you know what? I'm going to guilt trip y'all into not going anywhere because we got another story.
Ooh.
And I'm going to feel so upset if you do not stay to listen to it. So don't go anywhere.